Hello and welcome to this episode of Political Adda. Now, the Assam government has started its second anti-child marriage drive this week, in which it has arrested over 1,000 people. Now, Chief Minister of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma, says that he wants to make Assam child marriage free by 2026. To this end, the first anti-child marriage drive took place in February, in which about 3,000 people were arrested. So, the question that we are asking on Adda today is, what is the politics behind this anti-child marriage drive? What is Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma trying to do? And to discuss that, we have with us ThePrint's political editor D.K. Singh and Professor Akhil Ranjan Dutta from the Guwahati University. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Sir, Professor Dutta, I'll first come to you. What is the politics behind these anti-child marriage drives?
I have written a piece in Down to Art when this drive started or drive was undertaken. You call it first phase, I think in February 2023. I was arguing that this is, in fact, it's a very poor understanding of, the alarming rate of, IMR, infant mortality rate, and MMR, maternal mortality rate. If you go by the arguments of the chief minister, he'll say that look at the teenage pregnancy, for example. It's alarmingly high in Assam, and it has a lot of consequences, lot of impact on both infant mortality rate and maternal mortality rate. That has been the prime arguments, and therefore he has used both prohibition of Child Marriage Act and also connected or interlinked it with POSCO. So if you look at, if you think it in a literary way, or apparently it's good that he has taken a lot of actions on child marriage, having a lot of impact, as I have said, on MMR and IMR. But it is indeed a communal drive. It's indeed a polarization, politics of polarization that Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma, the Chief Minister of Assam, has been doing. Because we need to remember that this is not a single track kind of thing. It's not a singular process. It is also accompanied by a lot of other developments which are taking place, particularly the evictions, which is, drive against the East Bengal origin Muslims, claiming that they have been occupying a lot of, government lands and so on and so forth. I think it is one of the important components of the quote unquote Hindutva politics that Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma has been doing it. We need to remember, if you look at, for example, Sustainable Development Goals report in 2016, when the BJP-led government came to power in Assam. At that point, it was also a moment that when SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, were initiated. And the government declared that it will take the Sustainable Development Goals very seriously. Now, health and well-being, this is one of the very important components of SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. But if you look at Niti Aayog reports, Assam has done the worst amongst the countries, states, all states of the countries in this domain, health and well-being. Also remember that Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma had been the health minister both under Tarun Gogoi government and also Sarbananda Sonowal government. Probably he was there for almost 1.5 decades. And in the domain of health and well-being, the state has done quite miserably. In other words, the rate IMR, infant mortality rate, and for that matter, maternal mortality rate, which has been alarming in case of Assam, is not only due to the kind of child marriage and so on and so. It's also because of the poor state of health, poor state of education, and so on and so forth. Therefore, my understanding is that there's a component that child marriage has also contributed to all this, but the way it has been taken up is a part and parcel of the larger Hindutva politics that, Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma has been driving.
Professor Dutta, I want to understand that politics, but before that, I just want to understand how prevalent is child marriage in Assam?
If you look at the reports, you have National Family Health Survey report. I cannot give you the exact figure. I have the figures, but I don't, because I don't, quote too much of statistics. But if you look at the national average, and if you look at the state figure, Assam is definitely, Assam's figures are high, both in terms of MMR and both IMR and both IMR and MMR. In 1988 election, he became the General Secretary of Cotton
Did
College.
you vote for him?
Yes.
Did you vote for him?
1988. Oh, he was the, should I say, he was very dear to us when in 1988, 1989. Yes, definitely. We voted for, not only me. And there is a trend in Cotton University, Cotton College. There was a trend in Cotton College that there was a solidarity of Cottonians in the hostels. We have had around probably 10, 12 hostels in Cotton College. And if there is a candidate from the hostels, the hostelers, there was a sense of solidarity among them. It's not only me, our generations, loved Himanta Biswa Sarma like anything, because remember, he was very energetic even at that point. In 1988, that was the SGP government. He was part of All Assam Students Union. He was very close to the Chief Minister, Prafulla Mahanta. Prafulla Mahanta used to come to the colleges, and he availed a lot of benefits from the government. Remember, Cotton College was, now it is a university, was a government college. Therefore, he could avail a lot of benefits from the government, and that helps us. 1988, remember, that was also a time of Seoul Olympic, and we didn't have the televisions in the hostels at that point, and he played a very important role in giving televisions to all the hostels, and that made us very happy. We could at least watch the Seoul Olympic, and that Prannoy Roy World This Week, or there was a program, yes, World This Week. Then started Ramayana, or Ramanand Sagar's Ramayana, and all these things. And also, he also addressed a lot of other concerns of the students. That way, he was very energetic. 1988, 1989, for the time he became the General Secretary of Cotton College. Then he passed his graduation, joined in MA, again became the General Secretary of Cotton College. But by that time, the Hitesh Soikia government came, and he shifted his loyalty, became a very close person of the Congress, and he was a blue-eyed boy of Hitesh Soikia. That had a lot of implications. That made lot, because people also remember that Hitesh Soikia had a very different kind of role during Assam agitation. Cotton College also played a very important role during the Assam agitation. That created a lot of apprehensions regarding his role as a student leader and his role as a student political leader, being very close to the government. 1990 was a very significant year as far as his career is concerned. Now, this is very interesting. I'd like to tell you. Remember, this was a point, he became very close to the government in 1991, and all Guwahati Students Union office used to be in Cotton College, as all Assam Students Union office is in Guwahati University. All Guwahati Students Union was in Cotton College. So once he shifted his loyalty, one of the important things he did was that he dismantled the office of all Guwahati Students Union, which was housed by Cotton College. And at that time, Sarbananda Sonowal was the president of All Assam Students Union. Atul Bora, who is now Agriculture Minister, was the advisor of All Assam Students Union. Dr. Hamujjal Bhattacharya was the General Secretary of All Assam Students Union. 1992, when he contested the election, he lost the elections, not because the students disliked him, also because a lot of outside forces also played a very important role. Sarbananda Sonowal played a very important role. Atul Bora played a very important role. Yes?
Sonowal played an important role in defeating him?
Who?
Sonowal?
Yes. Yes, they played a very important role. Played an important role in others, because they were also trying to reinstate all Assam students unions unit in Cotton College. They had a stake there, and because of Himanta Biswa Sarma, Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma, the All Assam Students Union was facing a challenge. Now, once he got defeated in 1992 Students Union election, thereafter All Assam Students Union Cotton College unit was formed, and I became the general secretary of that unit. And the student who defeated him, Bhuban Pegu, he became the president of that unit. Now, very interestingly, Sarvananda Sodowal, Atul Bora, Bhuban Pegu, all are now, part of, if you call Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma's.
Tell me something. Just sorry for interrupting. I just wanted to ask, when he was in college, did he hold similar views about Muslims?
Then
No. When he was, we didn't know it. He didn't have that kind of, communal approach. As I said, he was a very vibrant leader. In 1990, if I'm not mistaken, in 1990, there was a seminar or kind of conclave or whatever you call it, organized under the banner of Cotton College Students Union regarding what will be the future of Assam, how to look at the future of Assam. Now, we were very new to the college. It was either in 1988 or 89 during that time. So I remember 3-4 important persons who were invited to speak in that particular seminar. One among them was Dr. Hiren Gohai, and other was Parag Das. Parag Das was also ideologue of United Liberation Front of Assam. He at that point, if you look at 1988 or 89, we didn't see him playing any role, divisive role, dividing the communities. Therefore, he was liked both in 1988 and 89. I remember, I can tell that students, and he had, incredibly, he could win the elections in a landslide victory on his part. Even in 1991, or for that matter, 1992, because he was a part of Congress, he didn't play any divisive or communal kind of role during that point of time.
When did he start changing? After joining the BJP, or was he already changing when he was in the Congress?
Okay. So during the college days, the students disliked him because he was very close to the government, and students had a sense that because of his position, his proximity with the government, the government was interfering too much in the affairs of the college. As I said, Cotton College is a government college, and government can therefore interfere whenever it likes. There is a provision of appointing teachers in the colleges. This is called 3F, and teachers are appointed probably 3 months, for only 3 months, so that they cannot claim the permanent position. They cannot claim that this needs to be, regularized. So he also played a very important role in appointing or getting his close friends, and they were brilliant students. They are doing good in the academics. He also played an important role in getting them appointed in the colleges and so on and so forth. There were a lot of discontents among the students.
But you cannot hold it against him. I mean, he brought a lot of funds to your college. He brought you television sets, and he got his people appointed. I mean, why should it upset the students?
But Professor Dutta, was there any point during his college life where he held the kind of views about Muslims or said the kind of things that he says now? And when do you think this shift started happening?
That shift happened only after he had joined in BJP, 2014 onward, when he was in Congress from, for example, 1991 to 2014, quite a long time, 25 years or 24 years or 23 years. So he didn't speak in terms of this divisive politics. He didn't, there were campaigns in 2014 parliamentary elections also. If you remember, he had a very strong opinion even on present Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So he didn't have those kind of divisive comments. Rather, Sarvananda Sonowal was in a way, he didn't speak in communal, he didn't use communal language. Even during his chief ministership, he'll be talking in terms of Barak, Brahmaputra, and fraternity among all communities. It doesn't speak in communal language. I'm talking about Sarvananda Sonowal. But Sarvananda Sonowal was also very close to some religious traditions. That was not the case with the case with Himanta Biswa Sarma, at least till 2014. We didn't see it. It was not that public.
DK, one thing I'd like to ask you, there are a few statistics that I'd like to throw at you, and then I want to ask you how this ties up to Himanta Biswa Sarma's national image also, because there are hints that he might be given a larger national role. So firstly, according to reports, 6 out of 10 of the people who were arrested in the first phase of the drive were Muslims. Secondly, a lot of these people actually later went on to get bail. Third, there were charges initially framed under POCSO and the Child Marriage Act, but when the courts framed the charges, the POCSO cases were dropped, and it was mostly under the Child Marriage Act. So this is just a pattern of after the arrest, what happens to the cases. So how does this tie up? Of course, Himanta has denied the fact that there's any communal angle to it.
Yeah, he gave figures also, if I remember it correctly.
Yeah, he's denied that there's any communal angle to it. But in terms of what it means for his national prospects, what do you think?
Well, it doesn't really affect it adversely, because what he's doing in Assam is, of course, for political reasons, and many people, if you look at the BJP, if you start talking about Prime Minister Modi's successors, I mean, he is one of the very few names which come up. I mean, you talk about Amit Shah, you talk about Yogi Adityanath, then you talk about Himanta Sharma. No, it's not about the number of MPs that Assam sends to the Lok Sabha. Because if you look at Himanta Biswa Sarma, he brings 25 MPs to the Lok Sabha from all over the northeast. Gujarat sends 26.
He's become a troubleshooter for the BJP in the northeast.
So basically, yeah, he has a sway over the entire northeast. So look at him as somebody who brings 25 Lok Sabha members. Then, yeah, as he is saying that he has started changing from 2014, but probably he is also looking at the larger constituency of the BJP outside the northeast, say in North India, in West India. Now, there is a constituency which has not seen him much. He joined the BJP in 2014. Now, he has to basically cater to that constituency also. And that's probably what he is doing. At home, in Assam, he is doing for obvious political reasons. Because as we said, 66 to 34% proportion, Hindu-Muslim population there, that ratio. Outside, he has to be accepted as what you call a Hindu leader, quote unquote. So that works for him, and I don't really, what he is doing, you see, the kind of crowd he is drawing. If you look at BJP's mass leaders after Prime Minister Modi, it's Yogi Adityanath. Wherever Yogi Adityanath goes, he draws crowds. And then you look at Himanta Biswa Sarma. I mean, outside he campaigns in Delhi, he campaigns in Gujarat, he campaigns anywhere. A lot of people come to see him. So you have to give it to him that from Assam, he has made himself so popular across the country. Not that he is participating in day-to-day policy matters at the center. He is not there. But what he is doing in Assam is probably working for him outside.
Just let me intervene. If you look at the trends of the Hindutva brigade, if I can use the term. By the way, I have written a book published by SAYS, I call Hindutva Regime in Assam, Saffron in the Rainbow. That was published in 2021 by SAYS, and I have written extensively on his economic policies. I have called it dream sellers economy. You can only sell dream, but you cannot ensure an environment where those dreams can be materialized by the common people. Now, if you look at the Hindutva politics, because you were mentioning Himanta's rise to the national level or occupying a position parallel to that of 4 or 5 national leaders of BJP. We need to understand what kind of politics that BJP or Hindutva has been doing. I call it neoliberal Hindutva. Neoliberal Hindutva in the sense that they have been trying to bring about competitive populist policies. Competitive populist policies, they have set of policies, they have number of policies for every section of the societies. Remember, they have also policies for schemes for the minority Muslim minority women, in the pretext of women empowerment and so on and so forth. So the aggressive populist policies, if you look at aggressive populist schemes or policies being undertaken by Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma, is something extraordinary. He's doing in such a way, and he has been quote unquote very creative and innovative in this regard. And he didn't do it after 2014. He was doing even during Congress time when he was a minister of Torun Gogoi government. Now that populism, on the one hand, also remember he has also followers, particularly among the youth. He has also followers from the East Bengal origin Muslims. In other words, that populism, the way how to handle populism, he's a master on that. He has acquired that kind of competence in handling it in a big way. One. This secondly, remember, this is very interesting, that he doesn't have one regimented friends and enemies, friends and foes. He can talk with anyone. The only objective is to serve his political purpose or political mileage. If he thinks that, and he keeps on telling it very openly, that he has friends among all the opposition parties, whatever is being discussed, even in the closed door meetings, are also being informed by the insiders to him. So that kind of politics, and he doesn't have any hesitation. He's not. Look at his language. When he speaks Hindi, he speaks terrible Hindi, but he doesn't have any problem in that. Only point is to communicate. If you can communicate, you have nothing to do with understanding. He has understood one thing well, that elitism doesn't work in Indian politics. You need not be an elite. You need not be a sophisticated, educated person to do well in politics in India. And he has learned that lesson or tactic, in a very intelligent way, and he has been doing it. Therefore, if you look at Ravi Shankar Prasad, for example, a lot of, Ravi Shankar Prasad, for example, has been a very strong leader in BJP's politics, but he has been a quote unquote elite. He cannot communicate with the people. He cannot communicate with the common people. The language that he will be speaking, he cannot hug an elderly person. He cannot go to the ground and hug an elderly person. Now, if you closely look at Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma's politics, wherever he goes, for example, he came to my university, we met, and he just held me. He had held me and started doing a lot of, things.
Who is a big critic of his? Who is a big critic?
Yes, he's a big, no, therefore his Hindu politics, it's something very creative. It's something very innovative. He's doing communal politics. He's doing politics of polarization. But his communal politics and politics of polarization doesn't prevent him to reach out the other people. He can reach out. That's a very, it's a very, and it has been happening since his college days. Probably that has helped him to go to that level, occupying a space in national politics.
And before that, let me tell you, I was covering the 2021 Assam Assembly election, and what a crazy fan following he has. And now you may be talking about his polarizing politics, but then until 2021 Assembly election, we did not hear much of that. And yet he was so popular on the ground. We saw that popularity, hugely popular. He was seen as somebody, what you call in North India, what you call Vikas Purush, somebody who can do a lot for the state. That's my observation. My question here is, where do you see him 10 years down the line?
Okay, before coming to that question, let me tell you the context, why he became so popular. Remember 2019, the kind of anti-car, Citizenship Amendment Act movement, that was incredible. In a way, we didn't see that kind of movement after the Assam movement. Almost all sections of the society came on the street protesting against it. Now, had there been no COVID, coronavirus, probably the trajectory would have been different. During COVID, the way he addressed these issues, more particularly the way he presented himself during the COVID period, and we had a lot of tussles on that. If there is, for example, in the initial phase, when there was a detection of, or somebody was detected to have got, diagnosed with, infected with COVID, he'll immediately reach out. He'll immediately go and, talk to the family and so on. I was very critical about it, and I was writing that, why are you doing it? You have the officials, you have the, medical health staff and all, and you are creating more problems than, facilitating towards the solution of the problems. And he was very critical of it, and he was telling that some professors are suggesting me that I shouldn't go there, but if I don't go there, my people are not working that hard. I'm trying to get it done. So COVID played a very important role. During that time, the chief minister was Sarvananda Sonowal was not that visible. It was Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma being the health minister and taking a lot of risks and going to the people and doing the services and assuring that people don't be afraid of, and also initiating some schemes, for example, to reach out the migrant population who had been there, going out of Assam to work in different places and trying to reach out there and provide some assistance and so on and so forth. And he was very visible in the media during that period. So 2021, that was a very advantageous position for him, and he could capture it or he could monopolize it, and therefore the things that you were talking about. And he had also the ability to reach out the opposition and get them, defected towards BJP and so on and so forth. And then that helped him to get himself installed as the chief minister of Assam. Now, coming to what will happen for in the next 10 years, it's very critical. Now, if you look at Himanta Biswa Sarma's updates in the social media, particularly in Facebook, earlier when he gives an update, for example, I have attended this meeting or that meeting, I have done this and that, there had been always a lot of appreciation. Now people are very critical. They'll be asking counter questions. What have you done in this particular for us? Or a lot of questions are uncomfortable questions are now being asked in the social media, and people used to be very, they had a sense of fear. Now people have come out of that sense of fear, and they are raising a lot of questions. Now, if that is an indicator, I'm not very sure what is going to happen in next 10 years for his political career.
Well, thank you, Professor Dutta. Thank you, DK. We don't know about 10 years, but at least till in the run-up to Lok Sabha 2024 and to the Assam elections of 2026, Himanta Biswa Sarma is going to continue to play an important role in not just state politics, but national politics and in the BJP. That's all we have for Political Adda this week. Thanks for watching.
Okay, thank you very much.